Some mornings arrive quietly, before the noise of the day. You might be sitting with a warm cup in your hands, looking out a window, noticing how still everything feels for a moment. And in that stillness, something inside you softens. Then, just as quickly, a small tightness appears. Not loud, not dramatic, just a feeling that says there is something you are holding, even when nothing is happening. Retirement has a way of bringing moments like that. Time slows down in ways it never used to. The clock is no longer pushing you forward, yet your mind may still feel alert, watchful, as if it is waiting for a signal. You may notice thoughts drifting in when you least expect them. Thoughts about whether you're doing this right. Thoughts about whether you should feel more relaxed by now. Thoughts that come and go without asking permission. Sometimes the days feel full, even when there is nothing urgent to do. Other times they feel long and quiet. And you wonder why quiet can feel so heavy. You might find yourself remembering how busy life used to be, how decisions were made quickly, because they had to be, how there was a rhythm that carried you even when it was exhausting. And now, with more space, the rhythm has changed. There are moments when you feel grateful for this freedom, and moments when freedom feels unfamiliar, like a room with the furniture moved around. You know it is your space, but you still reach for things where they used to be. You may not say this out loud. You may not even think it clearly. It just shows up as a slight restlessness or a sense of being on edge without knowing why. You might notice yourself thinking ahead more than you want to, wondering how things will unfold, wondering if you have prepared enough, not just in practical ways, but emotionally, wondering who you are now that certain roles have softened or faded. These thoughts do not mean something is wrong. They simply mean you are human and aware. There are also the quieter questions, the ones that visit late in the evening. Questions about how to protect your peace, about how to enjoy today without worrying about tomorrow, about how to feel settled in a season of life that does not come with clear instructions. You may have spent years being dependable, responsible, and alert. Letting go of that alertness is not automatic. You might have noticed that stress in retirement does not always look like panic. Often it looks like tension held gently, almost politely. A habit of scanning for problems, a feeling of needing to stay prepared. Even when everything is fine, part of you stays ready, just in case. And yet there are moments when calm does appear. Maybe while walking slowly, maybe while listening to a familiar song, maybe while talking with someone who knows you well. In those moments, your breathing changes, your shoulders drop. You remember what it feels like to be at ease, and you might wonder why that feeling does not stay longer. What if calm in retirement is not something you achieve, but something you allow? What if it is not created by fixing every concern, but by changing how you sit with them? These are not questions that demand answers right away. They are invitations to notice. As time goes on, many people begin to see that stress often comes from carrying yesterday's habits into today's life. Habits that once kept you safe, productive, and respected. Habits like staying vigilant, like measuring your worth by how much you manage, like feeling responsible for keeping everything steady. Those habits were useful. They mattered. And they do not disappear overnight. Calm begins to appear when you gently recognize that you are allowed to live differently now. Not better, not worse, just differently. There is a quiet relief in realizing that you no longer need to prove anything to the day ahead of you. The day does not need you to be ready. It simply needs you to be present. This shift does not happen all at once. It happens in small moments of permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to enjoy something simple without justifying it. Permission to say, this is enough for today. These permissions are not decisions you make once. They are choices you return to again and again with patience. You may notice that when retirement feels stressful, it is often because your mind is trying to solve a problem that does not need solving right now. It may be replaying old responsibilities or borrowing worries from a future that has not arrived. Calm grows when you gently bring your attention back to where you are, to what is actually happening, to what is actually required of you in this moment. There is also something powerful about accepting that uncertainty is part of life at every age. Retirement does not remove uncertainty. It simply changes its shape. When you stop trying to eliminate it and instead learn to live alongside it, the tension eases. You realize you do not need all the answers to feel okay today. Many people find that calm comes from simplicity, not the kind that feels restrictive, but the kind that feels clear. Fewer expectations, fewer inner arguments, softer relationship with time. When you allow days to unfold without forcing meaning into every hour, something inside you settles. Connection plays a role too. though not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it is not about being surrounded by people, but about feeling understood by yourself, about listening to your own needs without judgment, about honoring the pace your body and mind are asking for now. You may find that calm grows when you stop comparing how you feel to how you think you should feel. Retirement is often described as a reward, a long-awaited relief. When your experience does not match that picture, it can create quiet disappointment. Letting go of those expectations opens space for your own version of peace. It is also worth remembering that adjustments are normal. Even years into retirement, you are still learning, still adapting, still discovering what supports you and what drains you. There is no deadline for feeling settled. There is no final version you need to reach. Calm is not the absence of concern. It is the presence of trust. Trust that you have navigated many seasons before this one. Trust that you can respond to what comes, one moment at a time. Trust that it is okay to move slowly, to change your mind, to let days be uneven. As you listen to your own life with a little more kindness, you may notice that stress loosens its grip. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting what is natural. You begin to meet yourself where you are, rather than where you think you should be. And in that meeting, something gentle happens. Your breath deepens, your thoughts soften. The future stops pressing so closely against the present. You feel your feet on the ground again. Retirement feels calm not when every question is answered, but when you stop needing them to be. When you allow yourself to live inside of the day you are given. When you remember that your worth was never tied to your worry. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are, and that is enough for this moment. Let yourself rest there just for a while and notice how the quiet begins to feel less heavy and more like a companion walking beside you.